I was able to purchase this new Leica 35mm Summilux f1.4, the steel rim reissue. I was able to purchase this from Camtech Photo a couple months ago, but I never got around to finishing my video. The main positive of this lens, the main reason for getting it, is how distinctive the colors render straight out of the camera. There's something about the reds and yellows turns almost any photo into a classic looking photo. And the combination with the bokeh and the softness and the glow, it makes the photo instantly look like it was taken in the 1960s. There are some issues with build quality, but I'll get into that later. First, the unboxing. Because it is a reissue, it doesn't have all the same packaging as a modern M lens, and it doesn't have that black leather zippered pouch. It does come with a cloth travel pouch at the bottom of the box, which is made out of a kind of suede material, and it has a drawstring closure. It does have the usual documentation and then a black cardboard box beneath that. It comes with two lens hoods included. The first one is a round ventilated hood which screws on to the end of the lens. Inside the box sits the lens and the other lens hood in a styrofoam container. The other lens hood is a solid square lens hood which snaps on instead of screws on. And both of the hoods are made of this metallic material which feels soft on the outside. And picking up the lens for the first time, what stands out is how small and compact it is and the weight of the lens. It doesn't feel lightweight like it's cheap, but it doesn't feel heavy otherwise. Overall, it feels like a pretty solid lens. As far as build quality, it doesn't have that same feeling as a modern M lens. The first difference is the aperture ring. I'm not positive if this is a defect or they purposely left it like this, but the aperture ring is slightly wobbly. It's not as firm and it doesn't keep exactly in place. It doesn't affect the function, but it is a little bit annoying. The f-stop also feels a little bit different, a little less precise and looser. The focus throw is smooth and nothing to complain about there. Mounting it on the M11, it has a really nice compact size to it. It also feels a lot lighter than the modern 35mm Summilux FLE2. But the main positive is how small the lens is. The silver lens on the black body is not your typical configuration, but I think it looks nice. I added a silver shutter release to the M11 to match the lens color. And I also added a black protective UV filter to the lens to match the camera body. On the camera, I have a case from RT Demano, and it's a really high-end leather and really well put together, and it fits perfectly. It adds a small extra grip, which is nice to have, and the bottom of the camera opens up to access the battery and the SD card. So I never really need to remove the case at all. The leather strap is from LEICA, which also happens to match the color of the case almost perfectly. I usually use it without the hood, but here's how it would look with the square hood. And here's the rounded ventilated hood. Let's go over some of the images with this lens on the M11. The first one really shows off the vintage character. The combination of the color tones and the softness gives it a lot of character. If you didn't look at the people, this looks like it could have come from the 1960s. The red on the left side of the banner directly facing the sun is washed out, and the red on the right is slightly more vibrant, but still soft. And the sunlight hitting the top of the building warms up the image, but there's still a harsh, cooler Macy's building in the background. And at f4.8, I'm satisfied with the sharpness here. It won't be as sharp as the modern 35mm Summilux FLE2, but it won't be as clinical either. The second photo shows off how it handles the indoor lighting. You can see the blooming from the light fixtures right away. The color handling I really like here too. In this case, there's a moody or brooding look to this image, with the greenish tinge to the stone wall curving away into the background. There is a graininess to this photo because it was very dark and the ISO was at 20,000, but that also adds a film-like character to the photo. And again, not tack sharp, but good enough for me. This one is to demonstrate the bokeh wide open at f1.4. The focus point is on the white flower petals at the lower center towards the right, and then everything falls away from there. You can barely see some of the people on the left. The last one I'll talk about is a perspective shot. It mixes in some straight lines from the columns and the checkered roof with some curved surfaces and curved shape of the brick ground. There's a stark emptiness to this picture because there's no people there, but there's some shadows that add some interest. And I love again how the red and green and yellows are rendered. They just add a vintage character and softness to the photo, making it look like a timeless photo. I'll run the montage and then come back with the conclusion. So this is the second of my LEICA reissue lenses, along with the 28mm 5.6. Both are very small and compact and lightweight. They have a totally different build quality than the modern lenses, but I think I can definitely notice the difference in how the colors come out compared to my modern M lenses or the Q3. None of my other lenses have the same character. And with the 35mm steel rim, it's almost like shooting with a diffusion filter on, but even better and with more subtle results. It's perfectly small and lightweight and easy to bring along as an extra lens. I feel like it's been taking some time away from shooting with my 35mm FLE2, but I'm finding it harder to think of reasons not to use the steel rim.